Hey everybody, I'm Trisha with Chocolate Musings. Today I am setting up my bullet journal for September. The theme this month is Skylines. I initially drew out all my weekly designs with a kind of graphic-y, is that a word, boxy feel, but I decided that I didn't want to paint all of those lines. Honestly, I'm not very good at painting straight lines, or staying in the lines at all for that matter. So then I wondered how I could create this look without painting. One thing led to another, and all of a sudden I found myself creating a scrappy, papery, creative-y bullet journal using Archer and Olive notepads. Through some trial and error, I found great ways to use paper and vinyl stickers to create the look that I wanted. I hope you enjoy my process for creating my bullet journal for September, and hopefully it gives you guys some ideas. So I came up with this idea that I wanted to do, I'll show you. I don't know if you can really see that. Those are skyscrapers. This is my habit tracker. Each design, each page is going to have different skyscrapers. It's just going to be not even cities that are known. I just drew shapes. That's my idea. This one, I think you can probably see a little bit better. This is my brain dump page, and I'm going to call it Wander Through My Wonderings, which is one of the names that I came up with for my brain dump page. The idea is just to have some skitty skylines, city skylines. The idea is to have some different skylines, and I was going to, this is my welcome page, and I was going to draw, in fact I'd drawn in some city lines, and then I decided to I have these notepads from Archer and Olive, and I cut some of the blue sheets into I guess building shapes. They're just squares for the most part. And then I also want to maybe add some darker ones. So this is in front and this is behind. So that's what I'm going to be laying out right here. It's my welcome page, and then I'm just having a smaller monthly page here where I will write different events. I have it numbered. I don't know if you can see it. It's just a sketch, but I have it numbered 1 through 15 and then 16 through 30. And then here's my little calendar behind it where I will indicate if there's an event that day. And then mostly I will write the events each day. And it's a little bit wonky. This one is not the normal, oh, everything is horizontal, everything is vertical. No, there's some vertical and some horizontal days. So we'll see how much I like this design. It's always a fun experiment to see and create the different ways of doing things. So I may end up doing more paper crafts on this page rather than painting or drawing it in. I may cut a bunch and have it be, place it down, and then I color in the squares for the habits. But I have to think about that a little bit. I do want a little bit of design at the top, and I can certainly draw that in, or I can cut the paper to be like this. This is going to be a fun experiment. I'm going to get started on the welcome page, just gluing them in and adding some additional shapes. I'm going to cut my piece of black paper too. I don't want a whole lot of bulk on the page, so I'm not going to layer them like crazy. Let's see, stack that on there like that. Fun. A little bit of detail. And since these are darker, I can draw in windows with a light color. That looks good to me. That looks like a fun cityscape, and we can draw some additional lines on here too. We don't have to do it all in paper. Now I'll ink in the calendar on the right hand side of the page. I messed up and started on a Thursday instead of a Wednesday. This happens to me a lot, and I'm really glad that I checked it early and was able to quickly correct it. When I pencil in the calendar, I try to put Sunday's dates listed down the column in Sunday's column, so I have a reference and can correct mistakes easily. It's amazing how writing sequential numbers is so difficult. Once I have the calendar dates filled in, I'll use these handy dandy stickers that I sell in my shop to list out the 1 through 30 numbers for the days of the month. I design them so that they fit perfectly in a 5mm dot grid. September has 30 days, and since I'm splitting the month into 2 columns instead of one tall column on the page, I will cut off the 31st and slice the sticker between the 15 and the 16. And I'll place the sticker on the page, and I don't have to write the numbers again. Now I'll draw a border around the dates that I just added and finish it off. And then give you a little close-up of the calendar and event appointment box on the monthly log. Now I'll go in and erase the pencil lines. I normally hand letter all of my headers in my bullet journal, but since I planned kind of a boxy, graphic-y layout for all of the weeklies, the only lettering that I'll do this month is on the welcome page with these shimmery, I can never say this, Coliro, they're from Vinetech watercolor paints. Very sorry, somebody please pronounce it for me if I said it wrong. I dropped a bit of water on each paint well and let it sit for a minute. Then I mixed up a bit of color with my brush. Oh, look at those shimmery colors. This Phoenix color is one of my very favorites. It's got this gold undertone and glows red and orange and gold, and Phoenix was the most perfect name for this color. I discovered that painting over the different levels created by the paper layering was a little bit difficult. The paintbrush kept catching on the different levels of paper, so I had to go back over the letters where I might normally wouldn't have. All right, I'm going to start on my habit tracker page, again using an Archer and Olive notepad. And I'm going to tear out one of the blue sheets of this. I guess it's called a rainbow pad. I did a review when I received this from the subscription, and I'll post a link down below as well. I discovered that these pages are not quite A5. They've got an extra two sets of dots, but I don't care. I'm not inserting it directly. So I'm going to actually just cut it out into strips and use it for buildings. I'm just making sure that I get the right width, because what I'm going to do is use each of the squares as a check mark box. And I loosely drew this. I was driving in a car, so my lines are really wavy. But I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here so that I can make windows. I'll use this extra piece and maybe this extra piece for making these additional hats on the building. I guess they're hats. I don't know what to call them, but the additional toppers that go in the building. I'm going to cut them to different heights and maybe add a door. Oops. And maybe add a door down here. I don't know. I want the numbers to, maybe what I'll do is just pencil in the numbers and then color them in so that I can have different heights for the doors and have different things that go on them. So I think that'll be fun. And I guess since I am using the dots on the paper here, instead of the dots on the paper here, I don't have to align them. I could align them like this instead of leaving one space apart. So just depending, if you're doing this too, it just depends on your choice of design. If I do them right next to each other, I might be able to just use one page instead of one and a partial page. Generally only track 5 habits per month. I found that 10 is a good number or 5 is a good number. Anywhere in between, actually 10 is usually too much for me, but so maybe 5 is about right. So I'm gonna add a few details using, this is a Pentel Sunburst Metallic gel pen. Alright, let's give you a close-up view. It's just some doodles at the top, which add a little bit more detail. And like this one, I can have a larger entrance, oops, down here. I can have a larger entrance, maybe an awning or something, just because it's taller. The minimum height had to be this one, and so I'm not going to have room for any shenanigans down here. That's the word I could think of. I'm not going to have any room for anything but windows as the habit tracker, because each one will be spaced like this. So let's see if I can do this. Just a pencil. So this will be habit 1. And so those will be 2 habits. So they'll act like windows all the way down. And this one has this much extra space, so I don't have to start the habit tracking until right here. So that's why I can have maybe an awning or a door or something like that down here. To create the line separation on the weeklies, I initially cut paper strips on my Cricut to the different lengths that I needed them. Then I started to glue them down. It was not long until I realized that this was going to fail spectacularly and would not work. The paper was tearing and was getting stuck where I didn't want it. It was sticking to, I had a piece of paper underneath and it was sticking to that. It was just not going to work. New plan. I cut these on some vinyl sheets that I had, and since they're already adhesive, I don't have to apply any glue or any adhesive to them. So hopefully I won't end up, you see this? I don't know if you can see it. See the mess? All right, let's see if we can figure this out. This is a long strip, and then I kept them in order, so hopefully I won't mess it up. Let's see. I'll be first to know if I did. After me, of course. I measured it so the longest one didn't have to be cut. So even though this goes across, I measured it so that this, I would start with this one first. I just have to remember that across is longer. This is a removable vinyl sheet, so I can replace it if I need to. This one I might, just to scoot it in. I'm not going to replace that one, so if the gaps bother me, I'll color it in with black, because that's one benefit of using a black sheet, is that I always have a black pen. All right, on to the next one. All right, now to add a bit of color and write in the names of the days of the week. I always, if you can see, I always indicate everything with pencil to start with. That's Monday. Because when you are doing this, it is likely, when you're just got your head down and think you're doing great, it is likely you're going to miss a day. Just like on the calendar here, I didn't start the right day. I started, you can see I had to white out 2, 3, and 4 because I actually started the month forgetting it started on a Wednesday. I started on a Thursday. So it's best to do things in pencil first, and even if you do it in pencil, you might make a mistake, and it is what it is. I make these kind of mistakes every time I make a journal, every time I do a layout, and I'd make the mistakes even if I had a pre-planned planner. So It's not just the fact that I'm making my own. I would have put these in the wrong place for sure if I wouldn't have written it down. This is an Archer and Olive acrylograph. You can also use, if you don't have one of these, you can also use acrylic markers or any other type of marker that you want to use. I'm just using this because I like the color. See, even I messed up on this one. This one should be Thursday, but you know, it's not that big of a deal. We're gonna do Thursday, Friday. All right, now to fill in the dates, I'm going to change colors and use this dark blue. I'm just going to fill in a square and then write the date over it in white. I decided to create them on my Cricut and just to see how things felt and what I could do, and a bit of a different variety for each page. Oops. Since I made these out of non-permanent vinyl, I can re-stick them, which I think is necessary in my life. That's really cute. I like the silhouettes there. Once I get done sticking all of these, I'm going to come back and see if I can add just a few bright spots as windows. And I'll do those with the acrylographs. They don't look too bad. One of my concerns is how long they will take to dry, because I tend to try and move quickly through my pages, and waiting for something to dry drives me crazy. Although I like watercolor painting, so I'm not sure what that says. Maybe I like being crazy. This feels kind of therapeutic. Just filling in random squares just kind of feels, I don't know. I could stop at any time and it wouldn't matter. All right, they are dry and it took less time than I expected, so I am going to go color in some more windows on all the other pages. Now that the weekly pages are finished, the only page left to create is my brain dump page. I use this page every single month to catch all the extra thoughts, random ideas, experiences, and anything else I need to jot down. If you are not a fan of the word brain dump, but you like the page, I'll leave a link below so that you can find my blog post with so many different ideas that go with lots of different themes, so that you can name your brain dump page something different and have it coordinate with your theme. oftentimes how I journal is I just kind of get all the thoughts out, which coordinates very well with a brained out page. And I have, pull this up here, I have it kind of drawn out. I think I was intending to watercolor it. I haven't done, I did a little bit of watercolor right here for the words. I haven't done a whole lot of watercolor otherwise. I've done some gold pen. But everything else has been actually stickers, vinyl stickers. There are some bumps. I think if I did stickers all the time, well, especially since these are in similar places, like both overlap, so it adds a little bit more bulk to it. I need to think about what I want to do with this. I think I might just do line drawings, but I don't want to do black line drawings because that means I can't write over it. So I think I may do, oh, that's blue. I think I might do silver line drawings for the city. And so that is what I will do, and then I can erase all the pencil marks afterwards. And then I think I'll probably do a little bit down here in watercolor, but that's it. Or maybe just black down here, something. But I don't think it's going to be it's not going to stand out necessarily on the page. I'm going to get started on that though. It's a little bit more than the pencil. It's not much slower though. Let's see when I erase the pencil. This has been a month of experiments, and so I might have to experiment with something else. Okay, so I'm back. You don't know how long it's been, but I do. I found this is nickel. I found lots of different iridescent colors. This one is sequins blue, iridescent violet. Let's see, rose lame. That's a terrible name. Iridescent blue, and as you can see, I got a lot of these at Hobby Lobby. They were on clearance. Iridescent orchid, let's see, metallic green, and iridescent deep blue, which is a very pretty color. So since I was just going to outline the buildings that I had drawn, in silver, and that was not showing very well. So actually, when my niece went to Italy, I talked her into getting me a glass nib. She got this, I think, in Venice. I'm not sure, yeah. Yep. She got it in Venice, and I've never really conquered drawing with it, so I may end up with a lot of splatters, but that's okay. I think what I'll do is draw it out and then use different inks to blend together, and we'll see how that looks. It may look terrible, it may not, but I'm going to experiment with it and have some fun, I think. I've got my cleaner here. This is Bombay pen cleaner, but it does really well with cleaning ink off of anything. And then I have some water and some paper towel to the side here. I'm not pressing very much at all by any means. I'm just letting the ink slide off of the nib. In fact, my grip is very loose and I'm barely touching the paper. You don't have to put any pressure. I mean, pressure wouldn't do anything. I think when I got this nib very first, I wanted it to have some give, like a calligraphy brush or a calligraphy pen, where the ink would flow. This is more of a monoline. You create monoline. There is no give on it. So it's just a shift in the way that you use it. I don't think that I had shifted mentally what I needed to do with it when I first got it. But it's so pretty. Look at this. Someone handmade that. It's just amazing to me. This is a fun idea. I like the outlines, but I really like the shimmer. And the fact that I get to use a glass nib is always a plus. At least in my head. You know, special occasion type thing. See if I can get some of the scratchy on this nib. I dip it in. I should probably transfer it to another one, but it doesn't matter too much to me. And then I let the excess kind of drip off, so I don't have a lot of excess, but I do have some in the grooves here, which makes it so I can write for a longer period of time. And I know I got some on the side here, but I'll clean that. Oh, I knew that was coming. I could see that. The hard part for me is holding it at the right angle so that it flows evenly. Yeah, that got a little bit thick here, but it's okay. I intended to kind of mix them together where they meet, and it's hard to do that because they're drying, but that was the only example right here where they mix together. I should probably check to see if it's bleeding through. It's not there. I can kind of see it here, but I don't think it's really bleeding through. It's actually the dark blues, both of them, that I put on there that I'm having an issue with, so maybe that should be something I should keep in mind. Well, that should do it for this month's Plan With Me. I hope that you enjoyed and got some ideas. I had some fun. I tried some new things that I've never done before, and I think this will be a fun one to mark up and add some memories to it. I hope everybody has a great week or a great month, and hope to see you next time. Bye, everybody.